Okay, I will call the Capital West Accessibility Advisory Committee to order. Are there any additions to the agenda? Nope. Okay, no additions. There are a couple of new members of the committee, citizen members. We have Madison Sutcliffe from the district of the city of Esquimalt, and Susan Dybel, who's the Souk representative. Susan is here at the table. And Madison, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Great, welcome. Madison, did you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. So as mentioned, my name is Madison Sutcliffe. I live in Esquimalt. I work as an engagement manager for the Downtown Victoria Business Association. And I also kind of my lens that I bring to the table today and every day is that I am a blind person. I am a blind mother of a 4-year-old, and I am a woman. So all of those things kind of inform the work that I bring to share with you guys. I'm very grateful to be here joining the conversation, and I look forward to working together.
Great, thanks, Madison. Susan, did you want to have anything that you'd like to?
Hello, I'm Susan Dybel. I live in Souk, and I'm representing the district of Souk as the citizen volunteer. I coincidentally happen to work here in Machosen. I come to you as a hearing impaired person, so I appreciate everyone using Teams today and the closed captioning, which is most helpful for me. And I'm looking forward to providing what I can here at the table.
Thank you. And I'll just take a step back. I forgot the territorial acknowledgement. So I'd like to acknowledge that we're on the traditional territories of the Chianu and Sauk First Nation, and the territories of all the committees, or committee members. Okay, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Could we get a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Amanda. Seconded by Heather. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And adoption of the minutes. Motion to adopt the November 26, 2025 minutes. Moved by Heather. Seconded by Amanda. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And we'll move on to public participation. Any members online that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to business items. Because this is the first meeting in January, we will have election of the chair and election of the vice chair. Is there anybody who would like to nominate a committee member as chair? Nobody? Would anybody like to put their name forward as chair? Nope. Pardon me.
I would like to nominate Susan Dybel.
Susan, do you accept?
I accept the nomination.
Would somebody like to move the motion to appoint Susan Dybel as chair? Okay, moved by Heather. Okay. So Susan Dybel, did you want to take on the role of the chair?
Can I see that? No, I can see from here. Thank you. Yeah. You're going to have to just give me a little bit of a hand with microphone use. And, yeah. Okay. Just a quick microphone check that everybody can hear me okay. I've taken over Tina's seat. Great. Okay, so moving right along to item 6.2, membership updates. Item 6.6.2 from the Township of Esquimalt.
Victoria, did you want to take on this update?
Hi, Tina. It's Deb Hopkins from the Township of Esquimalt. So our recreation staff and their consultants will take over, and we do have Jeff Byron, Manager of Recreation Services, on the line here.
I have to turn my mic on. There we go. Hi, everybody. Yeah, Jeff Byron, Manager of Recreation Services. So right now we also have Steve Kanoki, who's the Director of Parks and Recreation, on the line here as well. We have retained the services of consulting group. Sarah and Rebecca are here from Cornerstone Planning Group to do a recreation strategic plan looking at the next 5, 10, and 15 years of what recreation will look like in the Township of Esquimalt. And so really they're here just to tell you a little bit about what's going on, and they have a couple questions for you. And Sarah, can I hand it over to you from here?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So nice to meet you all, and thank you for inviting us to this meeting. So I just have a quick slideshow that I will share now, and it'll just kind of guide us through the session and our conversation. I'm just hoping everyone can see my screen okay? All good? Okay. All right, so as Jeff mentioned, my name is Sarah Nickerson. I am with the firm that was retained for the Recreation Strategic Plan. I am joined by my colleague, Rebecca Galvao, and we also have a third member of our team, Quentin Talbot-Kelly. He is a partner at Cornerstone Planning Group. He has been for about 6 years. So he's not with us today, but he is our project manager leading the project. And Rebecca and I are the planning associates that are doing the analysis and leading engagement and so forth. So that is a bit about us. Just my personal background. I have a degree in planning. I have been with Cornerstone since 2022. Previous to my position at Cornerstone, I worked for a municipality in their planning department. So I do have kind of that local government perspective as well. Both positions I've thoroughly enjoyed and really happy to be a part of this project. Just a little bit more about Cornerstone. We have been in business for about 53 years. We have supported over 1,000 projects, many different sectors. We work for healthcare, education. We do a lot of civic master planning. And then in the maybe last 5 to 10 years, we focus more on community and recreation projects. So just at the bottom, there's just a couple recreation projects we've worked on in the last couple years, one of them being the Saanich ice and dry floor demand analysis, so something close to home. So that's about us. And so today's agenda, I will just kind of go through what the study is about. I will tell you about the goals, approach, and timeline. I will tell you about our engagement process, and then we'd love to hear from you. And we prepared just a couple questions that we're excited to hear your thoughts on. So about the study, as Jeff kind of alluded to just now, we are looking to plan the township of Esquimalt's recreation for the next 15 years. We're looking at a bunch of different things, one of them being how shifts in demographics are happening in the region, growth patterns, population. We are looking at the current inventory of recreation facilities, both in Esquimalt and the region. And we know that recreation trends are happening, preferences are changing, interests are evolving. So we're really just trying to get a pulse on what's happening and what the community wants and where the gap exists. So we also know that the current infrastructure in Esquimalt is aging and maybe at capacity in certain respects, may not exactly be meeting community needs. So that is the gist of the study. And all this is to say that we want to provide the township with evidence-based guide to help them plan for recreation in the future, so they can allocate resources effectively. So we have 3 main goals of the study, which I just kind of mentioned, but we would like to develop a data-driven understanding of Esquimalt's recreation system. So understanding the current inventory of facilities and services, understanding the demographic changes, understanding how well utilized the facilities are, and just understanding their overall performance. Secondly, we'd like to engage the community and interest holders to inform the future direction. This is integral to the study as we really want to gather input from the community itself and those involved in recreation in the community to ensure that the plan actually reflects the community's values. And thirdly, the final outcome will be to deliver an actionable guide so that the city can make changes that can meet the needs of the community and can serve as a roadmap for investment and decision making in the future. So that's that. So this is the timeline that we are following. We started just before Christmas in December. So the project foundation stage was where we got to come to Esquimalt, tour the facilities, get to know about the landscape of recreation in the community, look at background documents and all the kind of information that already exists. So stage 2 kicked off in January, and this is where we started to analyze population, demographics, utilization, booking data of facilities, etc. And then in February, we also started stage 3. So this is where our community engagement really kicked off. So we published a survey online. We are working with the township to conduct interviews with interest holders and interested parties. And as well as there will be stage 4. So this is where we'll kind of get into the real recommendations that we're going to put forward. So the first kind of 3 stages set us up for stage 4, which will be looking into the future and really solidifying those recommendations. And then stage 5 in the spring, we'll look at completing a final report, which will summarize everything, clearly provide that roadmap, and then present it to council and the community. And this just highlights where we're at today, this presentation. So for engagement, we have 3 primary activities, one being the community survey. Second being the interest holder interviews, and the third being community open houses. So the community survey, so this launched February 11th, and it will be live for 4 weeks. So the purpose is to just get as much data as we can about, respondent demographics, how residents are using recreation facilities today, where there are perceived gaps, overall satisfaction levels, challenges, ideal future state, and then priorities, especially given limited funding and resources. So that is currently underway. Also underway are our interest holder interviews. So this is kind of more focused sessions with select members of township committees. So like this one, township staff, recreation user groups, First Nations representatives, and just any local community organizations that are well known in the community and actively use the facilities and amenities. So, of course, there's only so many people that can take part of these interviews, and it is our hope that by having these one-on-one or smaller sessions that they share the survey with their participants and their networks to expand the participation of that activity. So thirdly is our community open houses, and these are going to be taking place in the spring of 2026, so likely April. And will probably happen on a weekend day, better part of the day, to just really showcase what our strategy is about. And this is intended more so as a report back to the community. So we will have developed kind of the strategic direction and recommendations at this point. We will provide context about the study, and it'll be an opportunity for community members to weigh in on the strategic directions, help confirm priorities, and then any other gaps that maybe had been missed, with the intention of then refining the strategy to complete the final report and final strategy document. So I will pause there. I know that was a lot of information, and if there are any questions about the study itself, the process, I will open it up. Otherwise, I do have some questions prepared. So I will just pause there.
Just going to open this up, see if anybody has any questions for discussion. The report does outline some questions for the committee's consideration. Is there any discussion?
Okay, stand in this thing. Very sorry to interrupt, but I can't get my screen to where I can raise my hand for a question.
Sorry, Patsy, what do you mean? So
First, let me turn it down. Okay, is this okay?
yeah, do you see the icons
Okay.
at the top?
Yes.
Is there one that looks like a hand?
Yes.
Just tap
Thank
on
you.
that.
I will use that. I'm not familiar with
It's okay.
at all.
Okay. Should I be calling upon the committee members, or is that through the chair?
That's for the chair. We're just working on it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Madison, go ahead.
Thank you. Did you say Madison?
Yeah, go ahead, Madison.
Thank you. Yeah, through the chair. Thanks, Sarah, for your presentation. I'm very excited about this engagement, and I have already completed it as an Esquimalt resident. So thank you for the work that you're doing in my community. I guess I'm just wondering a little bit more about the online survey and the open house to come. Is there anywhere for folks who may not have access or just may prefer to do something like a survey in person? Is there anywhere for people to complete the survey offline?
Yes, through the chair. Thank you, Madison. That's a great point. From my knowledge, and maybe Jeff, you can confirm, but there have been paper copies available. And they are able to either complete them in person and provide them back to the city staff, or they can take them home, bring them back. I believe they're available at the rec center.
That's right.
Yes.
Great. Fabulous. Thank you. And then my question about the open house, I guess I'll be keen to attend and see kind of what turnout's like, but I'm wondering, how are you going to choose when and where to host the open house?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So we do have the open house scheduled. It's going to be on April 11th. In fact, that's the day of our Esquimalt 5K. So 9:30. The race is about 9:30 in the morning. I can't remember the exact start time, but we will have a table set up from 9:30 to 11:30 during the 5K in the curling rink. And then the whole operation will move over to the rec center into the atrium for the rest of the day.
Fabulous. We're on the same page, Jeff. That is a great idea and was going to be my suggestion. So we'll see you there. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I see Patsy has her hand up. Go ahead, Patsy.
Thanks, Susan. And Madison, I just want to introduce myself to you. I represent the town of View Royal, and I am a senior woman with gray hair wearing a purple scarf and glasses. My questions about this is, the thing that I saw that stuck out was limited budget. So I wonder how much money is being budgeted towards accessibility changes.
That is, sorry, through the chair. Thank you, Patsy. That is something that we are not at that stage yet. So we're still looking at more visionary, and we're not quite at that stage of looking at where budget comes into play here. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
My second question is, you're here today presenting it to this committee, which is made up of 7 municipalities. And I would like to know, as a volunteer, and the committees you are setting up, will you be including us in this process?
Through the chair. Yeah, thank you, Patsy. So we have this meeting, of course, now, and the intention was to gather your input and your thoughts on the strategy itself, on the engagement that has been proposed, with all comments and feedback to inform the strategic plan. Additionally, the survey is public, so that's another outlet to provide feedback as well.
Yeah, if I can just comment to that, because we're a committee made up of 7 municipalities, we all interact with each other. So I feel it is important that we change our way of thinking, especially for these strategic plans, to realize that you also have visitors to your communities. And I will cite an example for you. A few years ago, I went to the Christmas market, which was at the Esquimalt Recreation Center. In any event, I went to park in accessible parking, and I was denied because of the food trucks had taken up a few of their accessible parking spots. So these are the kinds of things that people with disabilities encounter. And so these are the types of things that when creating events that are not thought out of properly. So I mean, I appreciate what you're doing and I appreciate the growth, but I feel it is very, very important that Capital West Accessibility be involved in the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a follow-up question, maybe. What would involvement look like for yourself going forward? Just out of to Patsy, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
I had to turn down the mic again. I think in your focus groups, you should involve visitors, right? I happen to be a visitor. I go to all of these municipalities quite often, and I don't want to have to come and not be able to park, which is the example I'm using today. How I can participate is I have both visible and invisible disabilities, and the focus primarily has always been around visible disabilities and not invisible disabilities, and there's an increase in invisible disabilities. And I think to get that lived experience is very important. So you could get it from perhaps a youth with invisible disabilities or an adult. You can get a perspective. I'm a senior who has both. So at this age, my requirements are not, actually I hate requirements. The support I need is support in parking, support navigating my way around. And I feel that as a senior and a person with disabilities, this is something all the municipalities that make up Capital West need to start to recognize and include in these plans that everyone is making. So that's all I have to say about it. Thank you.
Hi, Madison's got her hand up. I'm going to let her have a moment here.
Thank you. Yes, something that Patsy said that I'm wondering about is, through the current survey engagement that's available, can folks who aren't residents of Esquimalt also complete it to give us a sense of what members of the region are coming and using our amazing facilities as well, and provide some of that feedback that Patsy just highlighted? Can non-Esquimalt residents also provide that input is my question.
Through the chair, yeah, thank you, Madison. Yes, any member of the public can fill out the survey. We just do have a question of where they reside, so we're able to kind of filter out residents versus other municipality residents. But yeah, knowing how well connected the region is, everyone's coming from different municipalities, and it totally makes sense. It's such a regional landscape for recreation facilities, and there's so many offerings, especially that the township has, providing both its residents and non-residents. So knowing that visitors are coming and there's lots of special events that need to accommodate all users. So completely, and thank you for your question.
Great, thank you.
Patsy, I see that your hand is up. Is that still or again? I'm not sure if you have another
It's
question.
again. I'm the one who talks a lot. I have a suggestion moving forward that perhaps we can incorporate for this and any municipal changes, is that we announce it on our accessibility pages. We put it in the, everyone's websites are different, but put it down as an event or an opportunity. So I live in Langford, so, you know, currently happening, you can fill out, you know, a survey about recreation in Esquimalt, that kind of thing. I think that would help get well-rounded visitor participation to Esquimalt and other municipalities.
Thank you, Patsy. Any other
Thank you, yeah.
questions or comments before we move on? Okay. I just want to acknowledge that in my first 10 minutes of being the chair, I've already messed up the agenda and overskipped an item on 6.2, which was the Metchosin membership update. Tina, did you have anything that you wanted to say about that?
Thank you. We just wanted to let everybody know that Metchosin did receive resignation from Janie Finnerty from the committee back in January. And so the district has advertised in Metchosin Muse for the month of March, and also on our website for a new citizen representative. And we just like to pass on our thanks to Ms. Finnerty for her serving on the committee for the past year. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Item 6.4, City of Langford accessibility feedback received. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. Did we do that one? We agree we're on 6.4? Okay. All right. Accessibility feedback, City of Langford.
Thank you. I'll speak to this since our representative isn't here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Marie Watmo, and I'm the Director of Legislative and Protective Services for the City of Langford. So we have received several items of feedback. They are all in the agenda. If you have specific questions about them, I'm happy to answer them. I also wanted to address some of the questions. So all of them have been forwarded to the appropriate departments. Specifically, there were some questions about active by law enforcement of the 2-hour parking limit on Hockley Avenue, the appropriate process for reporting vehicles that remain parked beyond the permitted duration. Can the city consider installing one or more designated accessible parking stalls near the intersection of Pete and Hockley, or in Pete in front of Pete Commons, to improve access? And is there an upcoming plan under the city's parking bylaw review or modernization efforts that may address these concerns? So yes, there is active bylaw enforcement of the 2-hour parking limit everywhere within the city that the 2-hour limit exists. Most of our parking enforcement is complaint driven. So if it's for an extended period of time and somebody reports it to bylaw, then we will go out and address it. In addition, we have areas where there are frequent complaints, and those are patrolled more frequently. So if anybody does notice a vehicle over the time limit, they are asked to contact by law enforcement. Until the parking review is completed, I can't speak to whether or not any accessible spots will be added onto the street parking, but I have passed those concerns along to the appropriate department. And then with respect to, sorry, I just got to flip to it. The question about sidewalks with roots of trees that are about to or have already come up through the sidewalk. The engineering department has an annual program where engineering students go around and document all sidewalks in the city and inspect every sidewalk in the city for lifts and where it exceeds the set amount. And I'm sorry, I don't have that, but I believe it's 2.5 centimeters. Where it exceeds that lift, then tickets are put in and those are repaired. And I believe that's all of the items. If anyone has specific questions about any of the feedback that was received, I'd be happy to answer that or record your questions and take them back to City Hall.
Thank you, Marnie. Deb Hopkins, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair. I don't have a question about Marie's item. I just wanted to loop back around to make sure that we finished business, so I can wait for now.
I'm sorry, Deb. Can you say that again for me?
Yes, I don't have a question about Marie's item, her update there. I just want to make sure that we have finished the item of 6.3, because I believe that there were some questions for the committee, and I wanted to make sure that the consultants had and staff had what they needed before we closed this meeting out.
Okay. Does the committee have everything that I don't, hold on for me 1 second.
You're fine.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Deb, for bringing that up. Does the consultant have anything in addition to add? Were there any further questions?
Thank you. Thank you, through the chair. We had posted the questions, and I'm not sure if there was any more feedback. I'll just share them again, but yeah, these were the questions that we had originally wanted to ask. I don't know if we wanted to go through them one by one, or if maybe the feedback was all that there was. But essentially, we're just wanting to know what you believe the township is doing well for accessibility and recreation, and different demographics. If there are any other barriers that limit participation, I know parking was brought up, so that was kind of the answer to that question. And then if there were any examples of new or expanded improved programs or facility types that the township should explore to improve accessibility, and then any priorities that you would want to see come from the study. So those were the questions. I'll kind of just open up the floor.
Madison, did you have a question there?
Not a question, but a comment, if that's allowed.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, so our family are big users of the Esquimalt pool, and I like to use the gym as well. But my question is, or I guess my comment is about just one thing that I'm not sure if it's even something that can be changed, because I understand it's a capacity and instructor issue, but registration for children's swimming lessons is incredibly difficult. Registration happens at 11 p.m. well past my bedtime, but here we are. I try to make it work. And how quickly the reservations have to, the registration has to happen isn't the most accessible process. So for folks who might use a screen reader or who have other kind of tech concerns, getting their child's name in at that 11:01 deadline often isn't possible. So I would just flag swimming lesson capacity as a real challenge for, I know, both programmers and citizens alike. And then the other thing I would just flag is the family change room. It is often very congested, and I know that wheelchair users and stroller users are often kind of caught up in the crowds, as well as for me, someone who's visually impaired, I'm often bumping into folks or lockers that are left open. If there's lockers left open on either side of the corridor that you walk through to get to the pool, it can be a hazard for either children or someone like me who might catch the edge and end up with a small injury. So those are just two thoughts that come to mind for me from your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. I apologize. I realize I'm kind of bouncing all over this agenda here and truthfully wasn't really prepared to chair a meeting today. So I just want to kind of go back to item 6.3 that we're still talking about. These questions for the committee. How is the committee going to address these questions? Do we need a motion to accept these questions? How are we proceeding with this? Back to oh my gosh, who are we talking with here? With our consultant. I apologize. Thank you so much for your patience with me today, folks. How do you want this feedback? How are you looking to receive this information from the committee?
Through the chair, thank you for the question. So initially it was presented as these are the questions that we kind of start a dialogue, but happy to pass them along maybe through to Jeff, and we can always receive feedback written through email if that works better. That people often need time to take a moment and think about it. So very happy to receive information digitally as well. So it is whatever the preference is there.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, just reaching back out here to perhaps Tina, if you can jump in and give me a suggestion on how you want to proceed with this.
Was there any more comments from the committee members that wanted to pass on to the consultant? If not, we can circulate the questions to the committee members and maybe your contact information, and we can submit that either through Deb or through yourselves, whichever you prefer.
Through the chair, thank you so much. Yes, it can be shared through our direct contact. That's totally fine. I can leave my email in the chat and then also provide the questions, so that's no problem. But yeah, just wanted to thank everyone so much for your comments, and we definitely, this is the information we came for, so we'll definitely be helpful in informing our strategy. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Deb, does that work for you? You might be muted there, Deb. Okay, we are going to move along. Boy, I'm just jumping all over the place here. I'm so sorry about this. We are now at 6.5, accessibility upgrades at the District of Highlands office. Amanda, do you have anything that you would like to add on to that?
Okay, well, thank you. Today, the report that I presented to the committee outlines the recent accessibility upgrades at the District of Highlands District Office. Back, I guess it was like before the end of the year, the district undertook two accessibility upgrades. One was an accessible main entrance door, and we upgraded our driveway, paving the parking surfaces to provide a smooth, safe path of travel to our building. Today, we are looking for comments and input from the committee regarding our improvements to form part of our Spark BC community or local community accessibility grant final report. So this input will help confirm, we're looking to help confirm areas of success, identify lessons learned, and help inform future accessibility improvements. We have brought this to council for their feedback as well, and we have put it up on our website for feedback from the community.
Thank you, Amanda. Is there any discussion from the committee members? Amanda, how would Highlands be looking to receive that information from the committee?
So we were just going to take any comments or feedback from the committee today and put it into the final report to Spark BC to wrap it up.
Hi, Patsy, go ahead.
Hi. First, Susan, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
My comments about Highlands is congratulations. I've been there, and the road was difficult, and the door was difficult as well. So I'm really happy to hear about the changes you've made. And you know, Amanda, that I'm going to ask this question. Has everything been removed from the bathrooms?
Everything has been removed from the bathrooms. All of the shelving is gone. There is just a sink and a toilet and, you know, the toilet paper and the paper towel. There's nothing more in there. So it's actually quite a very big space now. So we are happy about that.
And you have grab bars, right?
Yes, we do have grab bars.
Perfect. Well done. Thank you.
Okay, we are moving on then to item 7.1, unfinished business. Looks like there was an updated terms of reference that I'm assuming the committee's had a chance to look at. There's a motion that's being recommended that the Capital West Accessibility Advisory Committee terms of reference be amended to include a public participation portion to the meeting, and that the public participation portion be limited to a maximum duration of 30 minutes, and that each individual speaker be provided up to 5 minutes.
And Metchosin has received consent from all the member councils, and so the terms of reference have been amended and are included in the agenda package.
Any discussion? Patsy, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was the one who brought it up, and I just really want to thank everybody for allowing public participation. I think that's a big barrier that has been removed. Thank you.
We do have a motion. Do we need to? Okay. Oh, Madison?
Thank you. Just a quick question acknowledging that I'm new to the committee, but I fully support public participation as a part of this committee. Thanks for bringing that forward, Patsy. If there, in the event that there were more than 6 members of the public that joined and wanted to speak, what would happen to the 7th person? What would the process be, with the maximum of 30 minutes being included in the terms of reference?
I'm going to defer to Marnie. Go ahead.
So the 30 minutes would be the determining. So, for example, you could have, if you had people that only wanted to speak for 2 minutes, you could have up to 15 people speaking. So the 30 minutes is the time limit for public participation. The 5 minutes is the individual limit. And in the event that it did need to go beyond that, that would be, it's generally a motion to extend, but it would, the 30-minute time limit is what would prevail in most instances.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think my next question was going to be if there would be opportunity to motion to extend. So if that is possible, that's the end of my question.
Okay. Carrying on then to roundtable discussion. We actually have one item here. I guess before we carry on with the roundtable, we'll start with Patsy because she's actually on the agenda. So Patsy, I will send this one over to you now.
Okay. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Starting with the sidewalk infrastructure, every municipality that makes up CWAC or Capital West has sidewalk issues. We live in older communities that are growing, and we really need to put an emphasis on public safety. And this is for everyone, not just persons with disabilities. I live in Langford, so I can speak at length about Langford. There are many things that I've noticed, but one of the things that I have learned recently is that persons who use wheelchairs have been advocating to be able to travel in bicycle lanes. For those that do not know, persons who use wheelchairs are pedestrians and not permitted to be in the bike lane. So while I support their advocating for safety, there's 2 things that I want to touch upon. And one of them is that there's been no notification from municipalities letting cyclists know that there are currently persons in wheelchairs using bike lanes. And I think that's unsafe. Their complaint or issues or concerns about the sidewalks is that some have fallen out of their wheelchairs. They get stuck in some, like I know in Langford, they get stuck in the railway crossing a lot at Goldstream and Veterans. So my question that I asked a few months ago when I brought it up not here, somewhere else, was if wheelchair users are feeling unsafe on our sidewalks, what about the rest of us? I never got an answer for that. And that tells me, even it points to how unsafe our sidewalks are, how unsafe it is to cross a busy intersection when there's not enough time to cross. And because we are following municipal mandate, how safe are we going to become? And I think this is something, I didn't want this to be on a round table because I feel it will go nowhere on a round table. But I really feel this is something we should get our teeth into and work towards as 7 communities, 7 municipalities, trying to do better and be safe, not just for ourselves, for everyone. So, that's about all I wanted to say, because I'm not going to take up anybody's time if we're not going to do anything. I don't know if we can make a motion at a round table or not, but I feel that sidewalks and we need to be safe. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to go on. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. I just want to acknowledge that I heard that for sure, and well stated. Thank you for sharing that. I think just my personal input on this would be, as a member of this committee and as one of the community representatives, I think it's really upon us to just bring awareness to our respective councils about what we see as the problems. Maybe not so much the role of the fixers, but more the gatekeepers of this lived experience that we all share, and just really bring that awareness. And so thank you for bringing that forward. I think you've been heard, definitely.
Thank you. And I guess the next part is for me too. National Accessibility Week. What are we going to do?
Looks like posting information on websites would be a starting point for sure. Do we have that? Sorry, I'm asking a question here around the table. Do we have that information within the committee?
Does the committee have suggestions with respect to what they would like to see?
Patsy, could you confirm, or anyone confirm the dates of the week?
It's the last week of May with a Sunday. I think I've got that right.
Thank you.
So that would be either May 24th to the 30th or the 25th to the 31st. I'm not sure if it starts on the Sunday or the Monday.
I believe it's the Sunday.
So that would be May 24th to 30th.
I just looked it up and it looks like it's May 31st to June 6th this year. And I'm wondering if other organizations actually have events going on, like the Disability Alliance BC. Those groups may have events organized, and it's probably something that we should look into.
I'm looking towards more of bringing awareness to Capital West Accessibility Committee. And one of my suggestions would be to have some sort of meetup, either individually, but would attract more volunteers. We'll let them know, people know that we exist, because nobody really knows we're here. And also, I think it's very important to bring attention that you don't have to be disabled to participate in this. This is a community-oriented committee, and anyone can participate. Anyone, any pedestrian can say something about the streets. And I think that piece is missing, and that's that connection, is how do we connect ourselves to everyone else?
Thank you, Patty. Madison?
I'm glad that you brought this up when you did, Patsy, because I think that there is time for implementation. One thing that I am looking for a little bit of clarification on from whomever can provide it is, who's responsible for carrying out the work that's discussed by the committee. But maybe just holding that question, I think that an awareness campaign could be really effective and kind of a prong of potential recruitment for both the vacant spots on this committee, as well as increasing engagement for this new public contribution component that has now been included in the terms of reference. But circling back to kind of who carries out the work, I think something as low lift and high visibility as like a proclamation or public recognition for the week, including a spotlight on the committee and maybe other regional organizations that have been mentioned here today that might support folks looking to engage in accessibility conversations. From my perspective, I learned about the vacancy and the opportunity on this committee through LinkedIn. And that's a channel that is specific to me that I use and worked out well for me. But that's a place that I would really love to see more public recognition about the work that this committee is doing across all municipalities. And I think when you do quote, social media post that's like kind of really graphic forward, has a few kind of key messages, those are also like really easily printed materials that could be posted in community spaces, etc. So I just want to kind of underscore Patsy's idea to do some kind of an awareness campaign, both for the committee and for Disability Week. Thank you.
Thanks, Madison. Just to add on, because I love your suggestion and your ideas, they're great. And I'd be happy to work with you on them, and get them going. The other one that I was thinking of, and I believe that it's doable, would be a video. A video, or get the Goldstream News to interview us as to what we're doing, but just bring that personal touch to who we are as a committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any of our corporate officer members want to speak to that?
I'm just wondering if, hi, it's Heather from the city of Colwood. I know that West Shore Parks and Rec does a lot of work for Disability Week, and I wonder if there might be an opportunity for the committee to piggyback on that and be able to share, bring back to our own communities, to our own municipalities, and have them kind of do a push to reinforce what West Shore has been doing.
Also, this is a council committee, so anything that we're going to do that's going to take staff time, or that's going to require funds or represent any municipality, we would have to get approval from council. So something simple that, like what Madison suggested, could bring a lot of awareness without having to make all of those requirements and requests and approvals from council.
Thank you. Patsy?
Thank you. I have a question. I was under the impression that we are a community-based committee now.
Sorry, Patsy. The membership, the intention of the membership is for it to be members from the communities, but this is an advisory committee to the councils. It is under the seven councils purview, and that's right in the terms of reference. In accordance with the Accessible BC Act, the mandate of the Capital West Advisory Committee is to assist member municipalities to identify barriers, to advise member municipalities on how to remove and prevent barriers, and I'm just paraphrasing. And so it's an advisory committee that falls under the councils. The councils approve the terms of reference. The councils approve the appointments of the members.
I want to say that the very first meeting, we were told that it had been turned over to a community.
I think what was
and that might
intended
even
by
be
that,
reflected in a video.
I think what was intended by that is that rather than the corporate officers being the community representatives, that it was members of the community for each, as each community's representative. And that's what was meant by that. But this is a community of council, this is an advisory committee of council.
With no council representation.
That is correct. And that's pursuant to the Accessible BC Act.
That's right, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll carry on with roundtable. I don't know if you have a previous protocol, but I was just going to go around and maybe we will start with Colwood. Yeah. Nothing for Colwood. Highlands, Amanda? No? Langford?
I do have one item, and I know that this has not been discussed with the corporate officers in advance, so I do apologize for that. But we do have an election coming up this year, and so we would like to solicit feedback from the committee members if there are any accessibility barriers. And I'll speak only on behalf of Langford unless everybody else wants to participate. But we would like to know if there are any specific barriers that you have seen previously that you would like us to make sure that we address in this election. We'd be happy to hear from you. If we get some feedback from the committee members and you submit that to accessibility@langford.ca, or no, just accessibility@langford for our email, then we'll be happy to put together a report for the next meeting.
Thank you. View Royal? Oh, my apologies. I thought it was Langford. What's missing? Just Zook? So am I go? Can I ask, bring forward my roundtable discussion for Suk? The accessibility plan, and maybe Nancy, this is a question that I'm going to direct to you. The District of Suk's current accessibility plan is not found on the website. The only one that I was able to find was the one from 2008, and I'm pretty sure there's been an update since then. So just as a new member of the committee, I'd like to be able to have a look at that plan.
Absolutely, Susan. Through the chair, thank you for that question. So we have had quite a bit of change over in our for the District of Suk, and we've also just implemented a new website. While we were all talking, I was making notes before your question to double check what is in place on our website for accessibility. And so certainly you probably found something that was transferred over that was not updated. So thank you for that. I will have a look. Yes, we did submit our updated accessibility plan, so I'll ensure that that is updated. But we're just in transition of a new website, and so it's being done in-house, and so it's piecemeal. So I will absolutely bring that forward to our communications department.
Thank you. Once I've had a chance to look at that updated plan, specifically what for Suk and for the District of Suk, what I was hoping to address would be a lot of the accessibility that was brought to the hall a number of years ago. There was the T-coil loop hearing system that was brought into both the council chambers and the reception area. Is it being used? Do staff know how to use it? Is there a training protocol for staff? These are just all the questions that I had, and hopefully it's been addressed in the updated plan, but if not, then I'd like to bring that forward.
I can't confirm or deny that. I have not seen it being used, and so we also have a new team. So this is a great opportunity. We also have a new team at the front as well, and so this is a great opportunity for you and I to discuss that. So I will forward you, before it goes up on the website, the accessibility plan that the District of Suk had submitted, so that you have the current plan, and any gaps, please do bring them forward, and I'll set that out for you.
Thank you for that. Am I missing anybody else for roundtable here? I apologize, I'm completely winging this, so help me out here, folks. Who am I missing?
So I just want to raise one point before we go, and that's that the vice chair position wasn't filled. I recommend that perhaps you might want to wait until the next meeting when we may have additional representatives here. I know Belinda's not here today, and so that would be my recommendation.
Do we need a motion for that? No. Okay. Any other questions, comments from anybody before we adjourn? All right. Motion to adjourn? Amanda? Seconded? Tina? All in favor? We're adjourned. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.